Hello, my name is Dr. Mark Kavanagh, and I'm going to be your instructor here in the Psych Seminar class, the required 1-credit orientation class to the program in psychology here at KVCC. And so welcome to the program. I look forward to getting to know all of you through the semester, hopefully meet you in person pretty soon. And a little bit of introduction now that we've, took that first week, kind of get settled into your other classes. Here we are in our first week of material in this class. This course is essentially an orientation to the program, an orientation to your own specific goals in studying psychology, and getting you ready to be independent in registering and setting up a plan for how you're going to be successful here at KVCC. So I made this course required. There's not a whole lot of work, although it does entail some work. And this is an online class. So it's going to entail all of the interactions that you're going to have online. So I'd like to start this little video. We'll take a look at the Brightspace class. This is the Brightspace is what we call a learning management system, or an LMS, and it allows me to post content, quizzes, assignments, online discussions. It gives us a tool for communicating student to teacher and student to student. So this is a really kind of virtual classroom that we have. So let's take a look at this. This is what the site looks like. Of course, this announcement is right there of the welcome to class. It's pretty simple layout of my courses. All you have to do is go to content. The first link that probably comes up, it'll actually go to the link when you been in the course and click on something and then you leave. The next time you click into the course in content, it'll go to where you were. So in this case, I'm looking at the overview syllabus section. It's linked right here. Ignore these two links. But here we have a basic, what the class is all about, a little bit of navigating in Brightspace. Right here is very important. This right here is what I call a textbook, and the textbook, or the course book, this is what I call a course book. I write them, and in all of the psychology classes, with very few exceptions, there's a course book, and the course book contains the lecture material, videos, all of that stuff, and then a detailed description of all the assessments, discussions, quizzes, and assignments. So we're going to take a look at this. You have to get this, you have to download it as a PDF. That's free. You can order it on Apple Books for your iPad or your phone or your Mac. Doesn't work on a PC system. You can go to Amazon. You can see I have these links here. You can go to Amazon and buy a print version of this, or you can go to the bookstore. I ended up editing these over the summer, and I didn't get them early into the bookstore. So you can use, if you're looking for a print version, you have to use the bookstore. Go ahead and use the PDF version, and then keep checking with the bookstore to see when the print version is going to land. And so it's very, very important to get that. Take a look at what that document looks like. If I clicked on PDF here, it would download a document that looks like this. Here's the title, there's the cover page here. A lot of information about, the stuff in my department and whatnot. But this index right here is actually alive, I believe. If I click on chapter 1, it brings me right to chapter 1. Every chapter is organized first with an attention section in terms of something to bring you up to speed as to what we're going to be talking about in this particular chapter. Advice here on how to do well in school. And then we look at the learning outcomes for this particular chapter. And then we go into the teaching section. This is essentially a written out version of what it would be a lecture. So I actually write these first, and if we were doing a face-to-face class, I actually use this as the the springboard for my slideshow, and I pretty much present this material in class. So this is my deep dive into the material. We go into all of these things here, everything I want you to orient to. And then we get to the final section of this chapter where it describes the assessments. And what you'll see here right on this page, you'll see that there's a discussion, there's a quiz, and there's an assignment. This is the instructions for the discussion. These are the questions that you are going to find in. I give you the questions for the quizzes. So you can construct those answers and then just copy and paste them into the interface. Then we have the assignment, and it goes through here going into the specifics of this assignment, and then in red we have the grading rubric. So that's the course book. Now what the course book refers to in the course, let's go back to the course, is the course timeline. Now the course timeline is a document that outlines everything that's going to happen each week. And you'll see here we are in week 2. The topic is Chapter 1, Organization. And then these links right here will bring you to the Chapter 1 discussion, so you can participate in that, the Chapter 1 quiz, and the Chapter 1 assignment. Same with Chapter 2, Chapter 3. The whole course is laid out here. Aside from the chapters, there is what I call a special assignment, and that's the reading of the Steven Pinker book. And then this is a section at the back of the course book, outlines the discussions that we're going to have about this shared reading that we're having about this very important book by Canadian psychologist Steven Pinker, who writes about enlightenment now and the state of the world, which might bring some surprises for you. So this week I've already outlined that you have a discussion, you have a quiz, and you have an assignment to get done. Now, the due dates for everything is the class officially starts on Monday every week, and then the due date is the following Sunday at midnight. And the reason I can say at midnight is because everything is submitted digitally. And so you have all that time to get it done. Please try to participate in the discussions early in the week, because the expectations of the discussions are that you're going to post your own response to my prompt, and then you have the obligation then to respond to at least 2 other people's posting. So if people get in there early, it gives people the opportunity to respond to your post. And so if everybody waits to the end, it really isn't it's just not as rich a discussion. So trying to get in there, prior to Wednesday, get in your first post, and then kind of like from Wednesday on, it's all the initial posts are in there, and it's just the dialogue of people responding to each other in terms of what they found interesting about the person's post. So the first discussion is simply to look through the content and of the course, look through the course book and say, what am I looking forward to? What do I think is going to be a really cool part of this class? The second one has to do with how, just kind of surveying, how are you getting access to the course book? Did you get the free PDF? Did you order it online? Are you waiting for the one in the bookstore? If you're waiting for the one in the bookstore, just put, the bookstore print. You're waiting for that to come down. And I'm looking about how you're going to manage your time, kind of perspective of managing your time. We have a whole chapter on that, but how are you going to get all the work done? And then the final assignment is really about how do I create a document that works well in Brightspace. So you can have there's any number of word processors out there. Clearly the leader is Microsoft Word, but you can use even Google Docs, all of those different different programs that we have for writing documents. However, I want everything submitted to what we call a Dropbox to be in PDF format. Every one of those platforms, whether it's online writing tools or like Google Docs, or whether it's Microsoft Word or some other Pages if you're into Apple products, can convert the document to PDF. I don't want it in Word. I don't want it in Pages. I don't want a link to a Google Doc. That will not work for me. You change it to PDF and the PDF gets uploaded to the Dropbox. I'm also asking and introducing the notion of how do you name your file. So I would suggest for record keeping on your part that you create a file for Psych102. Create a folder on your computer. In that folder, you put the assignments that you have submitted and keeping a record of those for yourself. So this assignment would essentially, the title, the name of the file would be, if I was submitting, it would be Kavanaugh M Chapter 1 assignment. Sometimes there's two assignments, so it might be assignment A, assignment B, with hyphens in there, no spaces. If you stick to that formatting of naming your files, you won't run into any problems with the limitations of Brightspace in terms of file naming. Okay, so in this particular assignment is to exercise that skill. So you can create a document. I'm asking you to put a title page, put the first page of second page after the title page is a biography, a little biography about yourself. And on the third page, find a good picture of yourself and post it in there. Again, I don't necessarily need to know what you look like, not that voyeuristic. What I'm asking you to do, though, is to be able to take an image and place it into a document. That skill set is going to repeat itself throughout your program here at KV. There's all kinds of assignments in this program where you get an image and you put it into a document. So this is an exercise in doing that. It's an exercise in me getting to know you a little bit, and off we go to the races. So that is our week this week. Please, if you have any questions, if you go to the top of the course, I'm going to go back in here, and you go under assignments, and you go to discussions. This is kind of another way, aside from the timeline, to get to your discussions. You'll see there's a couple here. Some people have already responded. Here are the course lounge and course questions. Use these to post questions about the course. And here I'm asking you to introduce yourself, so everybody should be in there introducing themselves this week. And then we move on to the graded discussions, and you can see there's been 2 additional posts into the Chapter 1 discussion already. Now this one that I'm looking at is, I have 2 online sections for this class. I'm looking at OLA. OLB is going to look a little different participation, stuff like that. 1 video here for both classes. You're on the exact same timeline. And an FYI, I am conducting a face-to-face version of this class, and that meets in the Psych Lab at Averill Hall on the Alphon campus every Wednesday from every Wednesday morning, and I believe it begins at let me check my calendar. I should know this, right? At 9:30 in Averill 207. You, as an online student, are free to show up if you want to. No, you don't have to, obviously, but that class will be going through the same content, except the benefit of the lecture that's in there, the live lecture. Everything else is identical. The only difference between my online classes and my face-to-face classes is the discussions. Except for in this class, we have the special assignment discussions, where my face-to-face class has to do those online. Even though we're meeting, we're going to actually discuss the Pinker book online, same as all the online students. So there's 3 sections of this class, 3 groups of brand new psych students, and 2 online, 1 face-to-face. And if you happen to be around and available, anytime. You don't have to tell me. I would like it if you told me when you arrive, but you don't have to tell me in advance. If you want to show up and come to the face-to-face class, it will be meeting at 9:30 Wednesday mornings in Averill 207. Feel free to come to that. So that's it for now. I will be posting videos like this every Monday morning, giving sort of a quick orientation to what the expectations are for the week. You are welcome to work ahead. However, I would ask that you do not work ahead in the discussions. People have time management and they're looking at the discussions and there's, the current discussions. If people start to post ahead of time, it kind of stresses people out. It's just one of those things, where they feel like they're behind even though you're not because you're working ahead. So I would rather, just like in the classroom, it's sort of in real time. So the discussion for the week is the only discussion you should be in during that week. Don't go ahead. They will close. You will not be able to go back either at the, once I've closed them and graded them, you don't go back. And so the discussions, make sure you get in early, getting your first post before Wednesday, and then pretty much from that, for the rest of the week, everybody's kicking in with their responses. And be sure to go back in and read the responses. A lot of this is, you will only experience the learning process of the discussions if you do more than just post. You should be reading people's response to get the diversity of their responses, whatnot. This applies to all the classes that you take online. Don't just go in there, I'm here to do my 3 posts and then that's it. Take advantage of that opportunity to experience each other's viewpoints. This is psychology. A lot of it is about viewpoints and perspectives and understanding how to communicate those and interact with people who may have different perspectives than you do. Deep part of the learning process is how you learn from each other. So make sure that you do that. So that's it for now. I hope we have a good week. I'm looking forward to it. My expectations are high. I'm excited about this program. I've never had more than one section of this class at a given time. And here I have 3. So there's a whole bunch of you coming into this program. And I'm excited that it's growing. And I'm excited to work with you through the completion of this program. So have a great week. And I look forward to seeing you in the discussions. Take care.